Hello. Uh, some final words, some do's and don'ts about entrepreneurship. Here we are going to discuss about some of the what to do to successfully run a startup and what should not be done, then some pearls of wisdom from some people. These are mostly referring to some of the industry stalwart who said something which is kind of pearls of wisdom. Profit and business success are almost synonymous, meaning unless your business is profitable, then there is no business extinct. And you can ensure success by optimally exploiting your resources. Resources include time as well, and converting that into profit. You should always try to follow the lean philosophy in anything that you do. Means you talk to somebody, use the lean philosophy, you walk, you do something, you give instruction. Everywhere you have to try to optimize, limit, curtail, and make the best use of your resources. Time also is a resources. You should remain circumspective, meaning that problems may come from anywhere, opportunities also may come from anywhere. You should have an eye for detail and for everything, anything and everything. Only then you can actually identify opportunities. And you should try to, particularly if you have to have an eye for competitors, with an eye for change in technology that is happening. So you should remain circumspective about technology, about your product, how the product is changing, how customers' interest is changing, and whether customers are really becoming increasingly loyal. One very important thing that many of the founders mistake that many of the founders commit is that they chase vanity metrics, meaning there are some data, some figure that people feel proud of discussing. Those are vanity metrics. They don't translate into business, they don't help you sustain for a long time. Like say revenue, you are a say 100 crore rupees company or say 10 crore rupees company. Now suppose your turnover is 10 crore rupees, but you are burning say 1 crore rupees a year. So it doesn't help by saying that last year our turnover was 5 crore, this year our turnover is 10 crore. Whereas gross margin tells, suppose your turnover is not 10 crore but 2 crore, but your gross margin is 1 crore. That is a better story than saying that my turnover is 10 crore, whereas I am burning cash. So don't chase, be very careful about vanity metric. Do not lose focus on the margin while striving to achieve revenue target. Obviously, particularly people have another tendency that they try to hire more people and then talk about these more people to everybody. You know, ours is a 10-member team or say 100-member team. Doesn't say anything. You should not hire unless you are bursting at the seams, meaning that you need a particular skill and there is nobody in the team who can supplement this, complement this scheme. So you recruit only then. Otherwise, don't recruit people and just for the sake of saying others that I have so many people who are working under me, because everybody is going to demand money at the end of the month, and you are going to be cash, means cash is going to go out. So you have to be highly money conscious at this point of time. Even a rupee matters. You should be able to ensure that a rupee go a long distance, a long way. So don't hire people and then burn cash on him. Another vanity metrics is registered users, registered number of users. See, just by acquiring customers, incurring huge amount of cost does not take you anywhere for all kinds of business. For some kinds of business, like say you are a network type of business like Flipkart or Amazon, registered users matters a lot. You acquire customer incurring lot of expenses, but for different kind of business where registered users does not matter, you should not spend a fortune trying to acquire those customers and trying to make them registered whereas you will not be able to exploit this relationship maybe for years, whereas you have already burnt cash and then it will be a sure shot death. So, keep that figure in mind. Before spending fortune, you should see what is the lifetime value and how quickly you are going to recover that lifetime value. So, make a comparison between customer acquisition cost and the value that you are going to derive immediately, not really over the life or means moving forward. Like as Malpani said, many vulnerable entrepreneurs, it is taken from LinkedIn, come up with great ideas and immediately expect angel to invest in execution. But remember, if you just have an idea, from idea to market is a long distance. At the beginning, you run huge risk, and nobody is sitting with his or her hard earned money just for you to experiment with some idea and then see whatever happens. Nobody knows. So, if the success rate is 1 in 3000, then one has to invest in 3000 companies to find one success stories. Nobody has this money. So, you have to remember this. So, try to reduce risk as far as possible, like you build a minimum viable prototype, get it validated by customer, or say some people invest in your company, some early say small investor, maybe parents, maybe friends. So, you gain traction. The more traction you gain, the more investors will be interested to invest, because ultimate objective of their investment is to see that a company succeed. They, even then many of their investment actually kind of do not succeed, but then they try to make sure that at least some of them see success. And this whole story about success at the earliest stage is better known by the investors themselves, even more than you as a founder, because they have seen failure, they have seen success. So, unless your idea is earth shattering and you have gained some traction, experimenting should be done by your money or some government grant, not really investors grant. It is foolish to think that you can convince an investor to put money. Like you have an idea, then you conjure up a story and you think that the story is so strong, so powerful that I will be able to convince some investors to invest. It is foolish to think that, because they are smarter than you guys. They are smarter because they have gone through a lot of investment evaluation, they have seen a lot of presentation. So, try to gain traction before approaching to investors. It is very important. Another tendency of founders is that they think that I am the boss. So, I am under control of myself. So, I will be sitting on the corner office and then other people will be working for me. It is not so. This laziness or this sense that other people will work for me will never work. Your business demands more than your time, more than your attention. If they demand maybe 3 times the attention that you can give, then only it can become successful. Spending time lazily sitting somewhere is never affordable. Founders must be frugal and make a buck go a long way. I started by saying this: never splurge money for anything that you can avoid. Just before spending, you just think, can I keep this money in my pocket and can I move this time, means can I move forward without bringing this money out? Will that change anything? If it does not, do not spend that money. Spend later when you have lot of money, millions of dollars. And investors also watch this very carefully. Your demonstrable capability to innovate, effectively manage under stressful environment would go a long way. Convince the investors. If you can tell that story, that I worked here and there was this stress and I could come win as a winner, and I have innovated this, etc., etc., this goes a long way, definitely. And you should always respect investors' money, perhaps more than you respect your money, because investors will always help you at times of stress, times of need, times of distress. So, try to at least demonstrate that you care about their money. And if you are a theoretician, you think that theory is going to help, that is a wrong idea. In reality, you have to have a tangible product. Only then your story is going to kind of cut ice. It's going to be very difficult just operating on theories. Inventing a cutting edge product is just one part of the story. You invented something and you think that I have a wonderful product and I am guaranteed success. We have seen that 42% of the companies have wonderful product, but they failed because there was no customer. So, executing a business and finding customers and meeting customers need, exactly customers need, meaning having a product market fit is more important than anything else. As I mentioned earlier, even if you do not have a great idea, do not have a great product, but whatever you have, if that is bought by customers, you will have a successful business. That is about business. About investors, coming back to the investors, you should never think that you can bluff your way through, neither with the investors, nor with the customers, nor with employee. Never ever try that. Chances are you will get caught very quickly, and you will, once you get caught, you will remain engaged resolving those bluffs that you have made. So, do not expect investors to be less smart. And because investors lost a lot of money earlier, they know how not to invest. No one has better idea about them, about funding than investors. Gaining increasing traction can give greater confidence to investor. I have been repeatedly overemphasizing. The more customers express confidence, the more investors, like suppose your university grants some money to you, suppose your friends show confidence, you gain traction through this process. Another don't is like this: if you somehow convinced an investors to invest in your company and you make a phenomenally higher valuation, you may think that you are a winner, your company valuation should be X, but you have got a valuation of 5X. It is a danger that is just lurking above your head. Unless you grow your company in a manner that can justify 5X valuation, in the next round of funding, you will face music. The new investor will say, your company is valued maybe 2X, not 5X. So, your company is now valued not even half than what you valued earlier. So, you will have a situation where your existing investors are unhappy and your prospective investors are not showing some confidence in you. So, you may have to dilute extremely, or you may have a situation where your employees, your investor, everybody look upon you as unsmart. So, be realistic rather than being euphoric about valuation. Any employee identified as troublemaker should be fired immediately. We have discussed that earlier. The right time is now, because this bad behavior of employees, this is contagious. This will kind of spread among entire community very quickly, and you will find managing your company becoming so difficult. So, fire him at the first instance. Do not try to mentor other startup. You may be a kind of a evangelist and you want to see that other small startups should grow and you should help them to grow. Without your knowledge, you will remain engaged with their problem, whereas your business wants your full time. You cannot afford to do that. So, do not try to mentor them as long as you are not completely successful. And do not try to do something so fanciful like attending a conference. Attending a conference is good, but then you may attend a conference for a reason. Just to get connected, you should not attend a conference. You will automatically be visible if you are successful. You do not have to be visible by attending conference. So, your visibility to the outside world may be detrimental to the to your own company. like your employees don't see you in the company, your business is missing you, whereas you are visible to the outside world. It is of no use, no value. So, let us not do that. Be very transparent with employees, particularly transparent with investors as well as customers. If you are not transparent with investors, they will not help you at times of need. If you are transparent, your investors will always be on board to understand the latest situation. So, they will remain prepared to help you at a stress. If you are not, then suddenly they will be in for a surprise. Then they will say, I did not know that this is happening. So, now it is your baby you solve, or they will sell the company. So, you should keep them on board so that they can use their own expertise to help you to come out of a stressful situation. They have valuable experience, valuable connection. They can always help you to sort out a problem at the beginning when the problem is not complicated. So, you should always remain transparent. You should not means you should not delay this process hoping that things will settle automatically by itself. It will never happen. Avoid debt. If you are not familiar with the problem of compounding is a huge problem. You take a loan, you cannot repay, and you are in a kind of a entangled in a trap that you can never unentangle. You will never be unless you grow phenomenally. So, avoid taking debt unless your operating margin is more than rate of interest, so that there is always a surplus. What Jack Ma said is very, very important. It is all gem of advice and pulse of wisdom. Jack Ma says, failure is an integral part. Getting used to rejection is the first principle of success. Keep your dream alive and never give up. This is the ultimate code of success. This belief must run through your veins in order to gain success. He says that respect your employees and take care of your own employees. That is how you are going to grow. He says we focus a lot on making sure that inside, meaning inside of the company, everybody works towards helping each other, not just furthering the interest of the company. So, if they are happy, they will make your company happy. It is very important. And ignore the little man, meaning that there will be so many people criticizing. You are trying to do something, people say, what nonsense, this is not going to work. Do not listen to them. Listen to yourself, listen to your inner self. So, if you are confident, just move ahead. And do not just pick up things. There are shining object syndrome, like you are pursuing some kind of a business model. Suddenly, you look at something very attractive. If you want to pursue that as well, or you want to keep this aside and pursue that, you will remain pursuing one after the other, and then you will reach nowhere. So, stay away from this shiny object syndrome. They will take you nowhere. Just adopt one and move ahead. If at any point of time you feel that another thing is very attractive, you do a lot of research before discarding this and adopting that, but avoid discarding second one and going forward with another one. Look at the importance that Alibaba repose on what kind of people. They say the first important people are the customers, the second is employee, third is shareholder, fourth is chairman, meaning maybe you and the company. So, he says this is my religion. It is the customer that pay us money and drives innovation. So, customer is always the most important blocks or building blocks of a company. And his final mantra, opportunity is where the complaints are. If somebody is complaining about something, you find an opportunity there, and then you come up with a solution that to make a product market fit that defines new business. Again, overemphasizing that if you cannot manage money, you cannot manage a business. So, learn managing money, learn financial accounting, learn cash flow, etc. Acquire the capability to raise money also, how to raise money, how to pitch and then raise money. You must network with smart and successful people. Do not mix with idiots, because there is a saying that you are an average of the 5 people that you spend time with. So, if you spend time with all talented guys, average will be a talented guy. So, you will become a talented guy. You mix with idiots, you become an idiot, something like that. It's kind of a hypothesis. So, let us, it's true, because you try to emulate other people, you try to copy their body language, the way they think, the way they manage time, the way they interact with other people, etc. So, gradually you try to capture, emulate other people's qualities and then inculcate them in you. Capability to understand your own weaknesses and strength is very important, because unless you know your weakness, you will not be able to solve them. The start of cure of a disease starts when you recognize that there is a disease. So, unless you know your weakness, you will not recognize that weakness and you will never be able to cure that, means overcome that. So, that is very important. Similarly, bargaining power or negotiation power, the ability to close a deal is also very important. Building a product that alleviates customer pain through a superior value proposition is another most important part of the business. Manufacturing, channeling them through convenient route is even another. Finally, one must be able to sell them to customers to convert all efforts into profit, sustain them, acquire growing customers is the entire story. Just building a product is only part of a story. Once someone said humorously that there are three most important components of a business. First is customer, second is customer, third is customer. That precisely says that customer is the most or the central element of a business. So, focus your attention on the needs, demands, aspirations of the customer and how to meet them. Never give up, never give in, never give out, never quit. Learn from the mistakes and move forward. And you should also learn how to pivot early. If you continue with an initiative for 5 years, then pivot, so everything will be lost. So, learn to pivot early, learn and then start over. Don't fall back, fail forward, meaning start over. Communication is one of the greatest virtues of entrepreneur, virtues of the entrepreneur. Communicate with everybody, try to communicate effectively, communicate with your employee effectively. Unless you do that, employee will not know what exactly you want from them. Communicate with your investors, they will know where you are now, where you are heading, so they will not be surprised. Continuously communicate with investors, so that they can not only they know where you are, they will be able to help you out. Empower your people, recognize your limitation, hire the right people to fill knowledge gap. Samuel Walton, he is the founder of Walmart. Samuel Walton, founder of Walmart. Samuel built a small grocery store into a giant Walmart supermarket chain, amassing a fortune of $23 billion is old data. Walton grew up during the Great Depression. It's a wonderful story. He had numerous courses to help make financial ends meet for his family, as was common at that time. He had to do so many things, like milking family cow and then bottle them the surplus milk and drive on a bicycle, go to customer and serve. He took a loan to buy his first store, and thanks to simple innovation in business, he soon bought his second store. Current market value is $300 billion. He followed one very small trick of a business. He used to stand outside the door. Whenever a customer used to go out with a cart with his things, he used to ask them, are they happy? What more Samuel could do to make their happiness better, their experience better. He used to invariably ask everybody, and he used to ask how they are doing. Is there a problem with the family, something like that, in a very friendly manner. So, anybody coming to Walmart for the first time will invariably visit for the second time, third time. So, that made a successful story of this small grocery store. And what Samuel has to tell us, stick to fundamental values. What value you offer to the customer, what value around which the vision, the value means the vision around which you have created the organization. Take care of your own people, meaning employees. Motivate your partners, meaning co-founders and investors. Don't follow the money, follow your passion. Money will follow you. Control your expenses better than your competitors. Then you can sell your product at a lower price, or you can make more money, profit. Communicate everything. Communicate effectively. Treat the customer as the boss. Whatever they say, think that customer can never be wrong. If the customer is saying that your product is bogus, listen to that and try to understand what they are saying, and then try to improve the product. Why they feel that it is bogus. Appreciate everybody's effort, even customers' money, time. Embrace new technology all the time, and don't go with the heart. Swim upstream, meaning if everybody is moving in one direction, try to find a way to the other, so that you gain success quickly, easily. Otherwise, if you are in the heart, you perhaps don't gain much. That doesn't sound like a profitable, sustainable, competitive business. Some reference, and thank you.